Chacma baboons are indigenous to the Western Cape. They're sociable animals, living in colonies of up to 50 individuals, but they're also scavengers, and that has brought them into conflict with the human population. Normally, baboons aren't interested in people and don't approach them, but in the Cape Peninsula, they've learned that where humans are, so is food, and that means easy pickings. The baboons have started straying away from their natural habitat and have become a suburban menace, raiding rubbish bins and even entering houses. Today, there's a storm brewing in more ways than one.
Control, come in for Alpha Control.
A report has come in that a troop of Chacma baboons is in the wrong part of town, and that means trouble. Chief Inspector Andries Venter and his team are on their way.
We got reports that baboons have come off the mountain into the suburb area of Steenberg, which is a highly populated area. The police are trying to prevent the people from harming the baboons. There is another organisation, the baboon management team, who's trying to get the baboons back or into a safe environment, and they've called on us for assistance.
It's essential that the baboons get back to the mountain as soon as possible, and with 10 miles of suburbs in the way, it's not going to be easy.
Here we go. Control, we found it. Control, we found it.
With a crowd already forming, even getting close to the location proves a challenge.
All right, where are these things?
The organisation, Baboon Matters, is already at the scene.
Hi, my name's Chris.
Hi, Chris.
So what I want to do is I want my men to come and we're going to stand in a circle around them to stop them from leaving.
Okay. What we need to do is put the trap maybe on the side between the car and there.
Okay.
Open it, and then they can surround the trap as well.
Yeah, sure.
So
okay,
if we can trap one.
To get my guys in place.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
Cool. Guys, so if you could just come in, please.
I'm going to prepare the darts.
Baboons are hierarchical, and the males can be very aggressive, especially if they feel their troop is under attack. So the plan is to tranquilize the large male first, and then herd the rest of the group into a trap. Darting needs a specialist, so Vet Joy Barry oversees the preparation of the tranquilizer.
But we've only got one chance.
Otherwise, one of us can use the gun and the other one the blowpipe.
That's an idea, yes. We need to work fast here, because if people get uptight, they're going to, I hope they don't lose.
The police try to keep the growing crowd calm.
With all the commotion that's happened up until now, the baboons are obviously very scared. We are running against the clock at the moment, trying to organize this. This one's ready, hey?
Okay.
So you want to go for the male so long, and I'll load up another dart.
Okay, where is the male?
Right here.
Okay.
They've decided that tranquilizing the male is the key, and Senior Inspector James Murphy has been given the task of shadowing him.
Sorry?
He's on the roof. It won't be an easy shot.
No, just wait. Can you see it from there, James? Do you think that's like...
There's only one shot.
Are you sure?
Sure enough, the animal's too quick for Murphy. They load again, but now the baboon will be even more on his guard.
Where's the male?
Well, that roof sticking out?
Yeah. He's gone this way again, but...
Is it which way?
Yeah.
Obviously not gonna make it easy for us. Once you miss the one, it kind of makes life difficult. So it can get quite a long saga.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's the female.
The chase is on to corner the baboons into a safe area.
Oh, no, it's behind us.
That's if they can keep up with them.
He's going on around the other side. He's gone right through the gate on the other side. Yeah, that's going to be too far anyway. Well, they're much better at climbing over houses than we are. So, yeah, I think apparently they went through past the church on this side. So I'll have to go around and see on that side.
It's going to be a long, difficult day, and the weather isn't helping. The baboons aren't any closer to getting home, and they're making it harder by splitting up. The baboons that are at large in a highly populated suburb of Cape Town are still on the run. It's late afternoon, and Chief Inspector Andries Venter and his team are anxious to get them back to the mountains where they belong, as quickly and as safely as possible, before someone gets hurt.
Everyone was basically looking for the troop now. We found them again, so the whole scenario will repeat itself.
Earlier attempts to dart the male leader of the troop failed, so the team are now going for a different approach.
Well, they've created a feeding spot for the baboons now, which seems to be away from the community and the public. So hopefully, with the trap being set by James and the baboon team, we can passively trap them and relocate them back to their area.
The baboons aren't making it easy though. They've seen the trap and they're off.
James, they're moving away, right there. It looks like they're moving towards the mountain, so we're going to try and just keep the path clear for them so that they keep on moving. And then hopefully they'll go back to their natural environment. We don't have to dart them and they don't have to sit in cages.
Andries and the team can't relax yet.
They've moved off through, back through the industrial area, and they've now crossed the railway road coming into the mountains. What I'm concerned about is it's bedtime for them. It's sun's busy setting, which means they will look for a place to go and sleep. And usually they find that on top of a roof somewhere or in a tree somewhere. I'm hoping that they would get enough energy to just cross the road and go back to the mountain.
There's one big obstacle still in the way though, and it's rush hour.
If they want to get back to the mountain, they have to cross this road.
The volume of the traffic isn't helping, but the team work fast, trying to drive the baboons in the right direction.
They're heading back to the mountain now. It's getting dark, and they'll seek refuge in the mountains. Luckily, not in the suburb area.
It's been a long day, but finally the baboons are back where they belong, for now at least. There are 93 societies for the prevention of cruelty to animals in South Africa, and there are strict national standards that all their inspectors have to meet. Learning to become an inspector is a full-time job. Trainee Liesel Pienaar is hoping to qualify soon, and despite being at the SPCA for almost a year, an experienced colleague's opinion is always welcome. So today she's asked Senior Inspector James Murphy to assist on a case that has been causing her some concern. A dog is being kept in a garden with no food or water, and she's worryingly thin.
Hey!
Liesel's tried to make contact with the homeowners, but had no success. She's hoping that James can advise her on a plan of action.
What do you think about the condition?
It's a bit thin, but it's not going to die.
Hey, Kip.
Have you been around the back?
Well, there's a gate there. You can see through, but you can't get to it. And this car here's got a registration on the front, but you can't really read it. Like I said, it's very tricky.
Well, look, the gate's not physically locked, so one could actually just go in and knock on the door.
James wants to make one last effort to see if anybody is home.
So I was here on Thursday, left 24-hour warning to contact, no response. The dog wasn't in such a bad condition at that stage, so another inspector just came to recheck again on that warning and that the next day. Still no response. So we're back here just to have a look again, because obviously the people aren't responding, and the dog has lost a lot of weight since we last saw it. I still can't see any food, shelter or water, and still no reaction.
With no one at the back of the house, they try the front.
Well, it doesn't really look like an abandoned case. I mean, last time we were here, all the windows were open, there was a tree there, so someone's obviously cut the tree down, the bin has been, taken out, post has been removed. But the condition of the dog has deteriorated, so whether the dog's being fed or not, it's hard to say.
Kind of makes you wonder whether they actually care about the dog, or whether there is anybody actually living here. And are we dealing with an abandoned dog? But there's definitely no shelter in the back there. There's a tub with water in it, but it's got a bit of dust over it. Obviously from the wind that's blowing today. There's a bit of poo in the garden, and it looks fairly fresh, so chances are the dog has been fed. But whether that's enough food, or whether the dog has worms or whatever, that's causing it to lose condition, yeah, that is of concern. So I think our plan of action would be now to go to the magistrate, get a court order and remove the dog.
James has seen enough. With the dog's weight dropping, he doesn't want to hold off any longer. Less than a month ago, an Australian black swan was found swimming, lost and alone, in a local marina.
And he's off. Oh no, he's going down.
Senior inspectors Kira Joshua and James Murphy suspected she'd escaped from a private collection, and after eluding them for 2 hours,
Here we go.
they managed to net her. No one has come forward to claim the swan, so for the time being, she's a guest of the SPCA. Today, adoptions clerk Celeste Abdrabu is making a final attempt to establish where she's come from.
Especially if I get a front shot. Okay, there we go. What we're going to try to do is find the owner. Okay, basically we put an ad in the paper. This is the first time that I've had to advertise a swan. I've done cows, horses, dogs and cats before, but never a swan. So it's a unique case.
Hopefully, someone will respond to the advert. If not, the SPCA will have to try to find her a new home. East of the city, Senior Inspector James Murphy and Trainee Inspector Liesl Pienaar are returning to the suburb of Quills River, where a shepherd mixed dog appears to be fending for itself in a garden. It's a mysterious case. Previous visits suggest the house is lived in, but no one has responded to their warnings. With the dog losing weight, they've decided to take action.
This dog's just skipping us. You can even see the ribs from here.
Come here!
Today, they have a court order to remove the dog and get her the care she needs.
Looks very scared.
The dog is frightened and retreats round the back of the house.
I'll just take a photograph of the license.
Lots of feces here.
I know. But it shows the dog's eaten, but what has it eaten there?
There's still no one home.
Okay. Well, the dog's a bit thin. It's probably a 3-4-year-old dog. It's sort of a youngish dog. There you go. There's a sad girl, eh?
Yeah, we did get a bit concerned. I mean, the last time we saw this dog, it wasn't this bad. And obviously coming back and finding it like this, it's, quite a deterioration.
You can see the hip bones are sticking out here. This dog is pretty thin. I'm sure it would, if it was given some food, it would wolf it down. Possibilities are that the dog isn't feeling well with it, and it has contracted tick bite fever, and that could be a problem. And I mean, left to its own devices, the owners didn't take it in, it would die.
There's some worry because of the condition that's deteriorated since we last saw it, which was just a couple of days ago. And the fact that we still haven't seen any water, food or shelter and still have not received any responses from the owners or the caretakers.
They leave a notice saying they've confiscated the dog, but for now, the priority is to get her back to the hospital. At the SPCA, vet Cookie Harris arrives to take a look at the shepherd mix.
So he's quite thin. You can actually see his ribs. You can see his bones there. The pelvic girdle is protruding. On his ears, he's got a few ticks on there. But otherwise, the ears are fairly clean. The emaciation could be one of two things. Either the dog is not fed properly or it could be worms. The likelihood that this dog has also got a worm problem is very high. And I say very high because most of the time if you find ticks, if they don't know about control of ticks, they also don't know, they're likely not to know about deworming. Just from the history, the dog doesn't seem to have any other problem. It's eating very well. It's got a very good appetite. So yeah, it's very possible that it's worms. So from here on, what we're going to do is to have a fecal flotation done and to have a blood smear done. The general condition of the dog does not, to me, reflect neglect. I would say more ignorance and just not knowing how to take care of the dog.
As soon as the results from the tests are ready, Cookie will decide on the best course of treatment for the dog. But one thing is certain, she needs to put on some weight.
Dogs are all extremely emaciated.
10 months ago, Inspector Fox Murray and Senior Inspector James Murphy decided to take action when they discovered 2 dogs and a puppy being neglected.
Condition is not acceptable.
All the animals were severely emaciated, so they were confiscated and taken into the care of the SPCA.
Come, we gotta run away.
The dogs were very nervous and, as a result, difficult to handle.
Make a line. Come on, dog. Come on, boy.
Volunteer Malcolm Rhodes immediately started trying to socialize the dogs in the hope that they could find new homes.
There we are.
Sparky was the most fearful, and Malcolm was concerned that she might not come round.
At the moment, she needs a lot more confidence.
That's a good girl, yeah, really, hey?
For many months, Malcolm has worked with Sparky in the hope that she will learn to trust people again.
Yes, come, that's a good girl. Hey, come, Sparky, that's a good girl, yes.
She's definitely far happier now. She's comfortable with people that she knows. She's very uncomfortable with strangers. For example, there are 2 people walking past now. She's very aware of them. Her tail is between her legs, and she's definitely not comfortable. Come, let's go for a walk now. Let's walk nicely. Come, good girl. Good girl. Hey, that's nice.
Adoption Centre manager Margie Ainscow is very familiar with cases like this.
With Sparky and other dogs like her, it's so important that people spend a lot of time with them. It's not just going to come right overnight. And it's a constant case of going in and taking the dog out and reassuring them.
That's a nice way to walk. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Come, here we go. That's back. Okay?
The case of wonderful volunteers who come here every single day and work with these dogs and take them out. And there's a limited amount of staff, and they don't really have the time to sit for hours with a dog with behavior problems. So a lot of it is left up to the volunteers to help us with. I don't know what we do without them, quite honestly.
I think she could make a really nice dog to adopt.
Despite Malcolm's optimism, no one has chosen Sparky yet, and the kennels are full. Soon it could be time for a difficult decision about her future. It's late afternoon, and a call has just come in to the SPCA regarding some animals on a small holding outside Cape Town. One of the horses is evidently very weak, so Chief Inspector Andries Venter and trainee Equine Inspector Clive Matthews take the trailer in case it needs emergency vet care. The caller claims the owner is away receiving medical treatment and that the animals at the location are running short of food. Fellow tenant Samantha Ike also keeps animals here. She immediately takes Andres to see the sick horse called Smarty.
This is one of her horses.
Yeah.
You don't know why it's got diarrhea?
I have no idea. He's just been living on the grass.
Where has he been standing?
He's been grazing in the fields here, on the side of the house.
Okay, he hasn't been rolling or kicking or
No,
anything
he's got
like
no
that.
colic, nothing.
And the gums are fine, teeth are fine.
Yeah. He is, I think he's turning 4 this year. This is a thoroughbred, so you can see for a thoroughbred that's turning 4, this is severely underweight.
Turning 4?
Turning 3, sorry. But I mean...
Smarty is very thin and needs urgent medical attention. But before he can go anywhere, Andres wants to check the other animals.
This Rottweiler is yours, you said? No, that's also his. All right, so 2 and 3 horses. And then how many dogs?
It's Tara, Shauna, Dania, Jack, Bella. Yeah, that's the 5.
Okay. I need to see the food that is here on the farm at the moment.
Samantha has been buying food for the animals, but with horses of her own to take care of, she can't afford to do it much longer.
Okay, dog food, cat food, that sort of thing?
I've got 2 bags coming in that are organized now from another friend of mine for today. Cat food, it's going to last till tomorrow morning.
Are the cats confined? Are they friendly? They're not feral.
Cats are very friendly. They run around the whole farm. They come and go as they please.
It's a difficult case, but Andres can't leave the animals to fend for themselves. He calls a relative of the owner with a plan.
We need to go about this before these animals start to starve or really suffer. For yourself to sign the animals over to the SPCA. Will you take that responsibility? Okay.
Andres is happy for family members to look after the dogs and cats, but the horses need more expert care, and he wants them to be signed over to the SPCA.
These animals need to be removed for safety reasons. The complaints come from the occupants of the property themselves as well as family members. So we're working with the family. The family have decided to take ownership of the animals and they are signing them over to the SPCA. In light of the whole procedure, there's going to be no legal action taken, and we're just going to remove the animals and take them in and try and find new homes for them. He hasn't been boxed in a long time, so he's starting to kick and getting restless. So we need to get back, sort him out, and then be back tomorrow for the other horses.
Andres is eager to get Smarty to the hospital straight away, but before he leaves, he ensures there's enough feed for the other horses. It's early evening by the time Andres arrives back at the SPCA with Smarty.
Good boy. Such beautiful animals, eh? And all they ask for is just proper food, proper care, and proper love.
Vet Miles Penfold arrives to take a look.
Well, she's hell of a sin, eh?
He's had diarrhea for about 3 days now, according to the occupants of the place.
And that's the main sort of concern that they've had, apart from it obviously being really, really thin.
Yeah.
I think the main thing we're seeing here is on presentation, this horse has got dramatic muscle loss everywhere. I mean, just really just skin and bones. You can feel the spinal processes here. There's no real muscle left here. I mean, I can feel onto the top of the spinous processes all the way down on here, and also on the transverse processes. Obviously, the history of the horse with the diarrhea can also do this short term, but we don't have at this point in time. We're not able to say You know, how long has this weight loss been? Has it been 3 weeks? Has it been 3 months? So clearly it's either not getting enough nutrition, or if it's got a diarrhea, the nutrition's not going in, maybe a combination of both. There's no other histories of diarrhea or anything starting up there? No. First thing we do is we do a clinical, we deworm them and have a listen to the gut sounds and basically just see what happens from there.
Smarty's weight loss is the biggest concern, and establishing the cause as quickly as possible is crucial. His condition could deteriorate rapidly. Miles will need to monitor him closely through the night and run some more tests. It's early morning at the SPCA, and vet nurse Angela Knight and horse care assistant Isaac Majikweni have a plan to make Smarty feel more comfortable.
This is the horse that came in last night with diarrhea. The diarrhea seems to have cleared up overnight. He's eating very well. We're going to give him a wash now. The weather's warmed up quite a bit, and hopefully he'll feel a bit better after that. We want to shampoo and clean his tail and his hindquarters. He's had a lot of diarrhea that's gone onto him, and we've got a problem with flies, so we don't want them laying eggs and bothering him too much. I'm just giving the tail a good soak at the moment because it's been caked on really well.
Being a vet nurse can be a messy business.
There is some progress here.
Smarty seems very relaxed, though.
Just as with humans, you want to make sure that you rinse all the shampoo out properly. And this normally also takes quite a while. He's quite enjoying it at the moment, I think. Right, it's pretty much clean. I just want to give him a final shampoo, and then we'll let him dry off and give him a brush later on. You're getting irritable now, boy. We're almost done. That's looking significantly better, feeling a lot better too. Now we just rinse. That's a good boy. Okay, and I think that's about that done. We've finished. He's been a good boy.
The team at the SPCA will continue to give Smarty all the care he needs. It's a big day for the emaciated shepherd mix dog seized from a garden in Quills River. She's put on weight since being at the SPCA, and animal behaviourist Candice de Villiers is hoping she's ready to find a new home. But first, Candice needs to check her temperament.
So we're going to start off by doing a 60-second standing, where just Taryn stands and we want to see the interaction of the dog with the human. It's very sweet. Very interested and inquisitive about her surroundings, sniffing the handler, wagging her tail at the handler as well. Lots of hair coming up. Definitely going to need some grooming. She seems to be enjoying that. Next, we're going to be doing a teeth check, just to see if she's going to be happy with someone being in her face, handling her face. Very happy. She seems to have no problem with that at all. Right. Next step is we're going to try and see what she does with certain toys. We're going to use a ball just to see if she knows what to do with them. Seems to be interested in it, but she obviously has got no idea what to do with them.
Finally, the most important test.
We utilize a rubber hand just for purposes of her not biting us. If she attempts to bite anybody, then at this stage we would not consider putting her up for adoption. She's not entirely happy about that. You can see with her body language and a little bit of freezing and leaning against that hand. But she's allowing it and she's not growling, which is a good sign. Training would be advised, teaching her some manners and what's acceptable.
how to walk on a lead, and just basic general behaviors. Jumping like that on people is unacceptable behavior to us, and with a child or any children, if she runs and jumps on someone, she'd even knock an adult flying. So it would be a good idea to just give her some training, and she's definitely suitable to go up for adoption to a very nice, loving family.
It's a busy start to the day for Inspector Nelson Sawati. He's on his way to investigate a report of an abandoned dog. The complainant claims the owner moved house a month ago, but left the dog behind. Neighbours have been feeding the dog. As he arrives, Nelson can hear barking coming from the garden. A concerned neighbour is waiting.
Is this the dog?
Yeah, this is the dog.
Yeah, legally, it is difficult for us just to remove.
Yeah.
Do you know when is the owner coming to collect the dog? Because, I mean, they know that they own a dog. They know that the dog is still at the old house.
She told us she's not fetching the dog. She told us she can't take the dog with her. So we know there's no one coming back for the dog.
Okay. Are you prepared to sign a dog over to us?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I'd rather that than let it live on its own.
Then that is a different story. I will still leave a warning here so that whoever comes here first will know that the dog has actually been taken to the SPCA.
Okay.
All right.
Nelson needs to ensure that if the owners do return, they know where to find the dog.
I'm going to leave a little dog loose, so you can just put her in here. It is a bit hot for the box. I'm going to have to ask you to sign my papers, but first let's just do the warning. Sometimes the pressure is put on because the dog makes a lot of noise because it is pining for the owners and so on. But we still have to come out in order to assess the physical condition of the animal. Then you as an inspector will know definitely whether you confiscate immediately or whether you can still leave a 24-hour warning for the owners to contact the SPCA. Okay, little one. Hey, my darling.
The neighbour says the dog's name is Peanut. For now, he'll go back to the SPCA. The owners have 7 days to come forward. If not, Peanut will be put up for adoption. Across town, Chief Inspector Andries Venter is back on the road with the horse trailer.
We're on our way back to a farm where we removed the skinny-looking horse the day before yesterday. The owner left the animals in the care of her friends and family, and they've now run low with feed for the horses. The dogs and cats, they have decided to split up amongst each other and care for until further notice to us. But our main concern are the horses.
The owner of the animals is still away receiving medical treatment, but Andries has been in touch with her family. Fellow tenant Samantha Ike and some friends are already at the location, preparing the horses for their journey to the SPCA. It's been quite some time since either of the horses were loaded into a trailer. They'll have to take it slowly. First up is the mother of Smarty, the sick horse.
Good girl.
Good girl.
Good girl. Good girl.
So far, so good. One more to go.
I'm very impressed. This went much better than...
Not to put them down.
No, we won't. No, I promise you. No.
Because I phoned a bunch of my friends the other night and just said, please, if you know of anybody.
To be honest with you, we very, very rarely have to put down horses because we can't find homes.
Well, you just let me know where they go.
Yes, of course. Yeah. And I'll keep you up to date about Smarty next week as well.
Okay, I'm just going to go to the house and get their papers and stuff.
Okay, all right, I'll meet you up there just now. Okay. I was a bit concerned about them not loading very easily because they haven't been boxed for a while, but surprisingly, both of them walked in one shot, no hassles, so I'm very happy with the way it's gone so far.
Although they aren't her horses, Samantha has become very attached to them.
No, I definitely think they'll go to a much, much better place because at least they're going to get treatment that they need. I mean, they're seriously underweight. They need a lot of medical attention and they're going to find lovely homes. They just are really lovely horses.
It's an important day for Peanut. Sadly, no one came forward to claim him, and his owners couldn't be traced. So today, animal behaviourist Candice de Villiers is going to check his suitability for adoption.
First thing we're going to do is we're going to start with just a 60-second standing, where Taryn's going to be standing, and just going to see his interaction with her and with what he's going to do around, if he's just quite happy to stand next to her or move around and get sniffing. He's a poser. We're going to move over to doing stroking. Taryn's going to give him a couple of strokes and we're going to see if he enjoys it, if he doesn't like it, and take it from there.
He definitely likes people.
Clearly we can see he absolutely loves that. Okay, next is going to be our toys. We're going to go over to seeing if he'll play with the ball. You can see with these little paws that he did a little bounce with, he wants to play, but then you'd prefer getting the affection and the attention from the human. So I think giving him some time and showing him that playing with toys is nice and fun and interaction with humans, that he would actually start doing that quite happily. So I would definitely describe him as, he's a very sweet dog. He really has a huge personality. I really think that he would make someone very happy. I also think that he would be good with children. He's very affectionate and friendly, and he'll definitely learn how to play. Possibly one day when he's maybe more relaxed with the circumstances and the environment, he'll probably end up playing quite nicely and lots of fun. He's quite a fun dog. He's definitely Mr. Personality. I think elderly lady is not going to keep up with him.
Peanut has passed with flying colours and definitely loves all the attention. It's been several weeks since an appeal was launched to find the owners of an Australian black swan. Sadly, the owner has not come forward, so the SPCA has hit upon a solution, and it's very close to home. Normally, dogs pull on her heartstrings, but for Candice, it was love at first sight.
I didn't really hear that the swan was being rescued, but I saw the commotion and the big box being carried in, so I was definitely there to go and have a look at what it was all about. And when she came out of the box, I think my natural 3 words were out of my mouth and was, oh, I want her. So it was just a natural instinct that she's got what's the right word, like a flair about her. She's just so pretty and polite and kind of just peaceful. Well, I've got 1 white cracker, and then I've got the Muscovy, and then various other canaries and doves and variants of birds. I love the sound of them mornings when you wake up, you hear them. In the beginning, the Muscovy just tried to chase her around the garden and wouldn't allow her near the water bowls and near the duck ponds and things like that. And now it seems they sleep together at night. During the day, they keep themselves occupied, they graze, and And then in the evenings when I come back, just spend some time, I just sit out here with them. And that's the only way that they get used to me. Exercising his wings.
Some friendships, though, might take a little longer to form.
I've got a couple of these mountain tortoises. As you can see, my dominant male checks up the territory and knows exactly who's here and who shouldn't be here. So I don't have to worry about any intruders. She's right next to a tortoise there at the moment, and she just moves away, especially when this one comes closer. She spots them and she manages to move away quite easily. She's beautiful.
It's been over a month since the shepherd mix dog arrived at the SPCA. Trainee Inspector Liesl Pienaar is eager to see how she's doing. Liesl has been in contact with the owners of the house where she was found, and they claim she's a stray that wandered into their property. They don't want to keep her, so have signed her over to the SPCA.
She's obviously picked up some weight, as you can see. Looking good, friendly, healthy. She's gone for her x-rays last week to check that her hips are all fine. And yeah, she's now up for adoption, as you can see, very energetic. Well, when we first took her, I mean, she was really thin and not very, active, very weak. And looking at her now, it's quite an improvement. I mean, seeing a dog coming from, where it came from and looking at what the dog is now today, it makes us feel that we're doing some difference out there. There's definitely job satisfaction to know that you're helping an animal from a bad situation into a better situation, possibly a very good home. She will make a very energetic pet, obviously have to be walked a lot and get a lot of attention and very playful. So yeah, she just needs maybe some kids and that around.
Peanut, the abandoned Maltese poodle, is nearly ready to go up for adoption. But before the SPCA can find him a new home, he's going to need a bath. And animal care assistant Sipiwo Nkyepi has his shampoo at the ready.
As you can see, this one has been in a bath before. It's not freaking out or anything like that. Right. It looks like he's really enjoying it. You just saw a big yawn sign. He's really enjoying that. See, he wants me to start rubbing him again, so he's really enjoying it. If they've had bad experiences, then it's heaven here for them. Yeah, because they get fed regularly, they get a lot of love, they get a lot of volunteers working with them, which is something they might not be used to wherever they come from. Really loves people. If I run into 100 people while I'm walking, he will greet every single one of them. Right over. Let's dry you off.
Peanut is quite matted, but a good brush through will soon sort those tangles out.
Now we can go out there and show.
All clean and fresh, he can't wait to find a loving new owner. At the SPCA stables, there's some good news. The horses taken from the small holding have settled in, and Andris is particularly keen to see how the horse in the poorest health is doing.
This is Smarty that came in last week after he was reported to have bad diarrhea. The owner allegedly had to leave them behind after being admitted into hospital. The owners then decided to sign them over, surrender them to us, and he's adapting very well to the SPCA lifestyle. He's gaining weight, and we'll be assessing all the applications for his adoption. The other 2 horses have also been surrendered subsequently, and they're also being medically assessed just to make sure that they can go to homes as pets. I'm very happy with the way this case has developed, and that the family and the friends have started taking responsibility and ownership and realized the magnitude and cooperated with us fully. Smarty is looking very happy. He's looking forward to finding his own feet again.
Smarty still has a long way to go, but the vets will be keeping a close eye on him. The other 2 horses, though, will soon be ready for adoption. Almost a year ago, the SPCA found 3 severely emaciated dogs in a yard.
Stay.
Sparky was the most fearful, and it was touch and go as to whether volunteer Malcolm Rhodes could bring her round. After many months of love and attention, her behaviour was corrected, but no one seemed to want her. But finally, patience has paid off, and just outside the city, Sparky is settling into her new home. And she seems to like it, and her playmate Bocky. Adopter Penny Steckhoven is very happy to be able to help her overcome her old nervous ways.
She was terrified of water when we first brought her here. Her first day, she was so frightened. It took her about a week to get used to the water. Come on. Now, she likes to play in it. When we go to the beach, she's beginning now to go into the sea and play around and grab the sticks from Bocky. They have a good tug of war with the sticks. But when we first took her to the beach, I had to keep her on a lead the whole time. She was absolutely terrified out of her wits. She settled down dramatically, but she still gets agitated with people walking around with sticks or anything like that. And when there's thunder and lightning, she disappears downstairs and hides in a dark corner. And similarly, when the TV goes on. The first time we turned on the TV, she had been sitting near me and she just bolted. I think she's got the most gentle face of all the dogs we've ever had. She does have a very expressive face. So we took her because we liked the look of her. It's okay. Yes, wag your tail.